The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Wave. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
So we can recover our natural health, our rights, and our freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater, 63 degrees, going up into about 80 degrees this afternoon, and we're going to have some rain tomorrow, Paige.
Well, that's good. Maybe it'll calm down all this pollen.
Yeah, there's a lot of pollen in the air,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
If you have any questions, any suggestions for the show, please let us know. You can reach me at Nico at TFNN.com, Nico.
And you can reach me at Paige at TFNN.com.
And, of course, we're taking your phone calls, 877-927-6648. So I ran across, well, actually, you sent this to me, How to Reprogram Your DNA, Spontaneous Healing Miracles Through Epigenetics. And you've talked about this a lot.
Well, really, epigenetics, the word means above the genes, meaning something else affecting the genes than the hard coding. And unfortunately, and you and I have talked about this a whole bunch, people have been led to believe falsely that our genes are our destiny.
Right.
But the truth is we can defy our DNA, and it's really about what we do, how we think.
Yeah, that's the
what this
amazing
article
part.
will talk about.
And, my dad was always a big positive thinker. He always had all these little sayings throughout his life that make things look positive. So it's not just food. I mean, we always stress the importance of getting quality food.
Well, that's part of it, because that's the environment.
That's the environment. But now also what we're thinking and how we're pointing ourselves in different directions actually has to do with not only where we're going, but our health.
And that's so true, folks, because, see, really when you take a look at it, and we'll go over some points here, but I want to share this idea.
Sure.
When we say that epigenetics means it's your environment, it's what you do, what you think, how you move, how you breathe, how you sleep, what you eat. When you realize that the human body is mostly water, we now know from Gerald Pollack's work, the fourth phase of water, there's more than 3 phases of water. The fourth phase is the crystalline matrix. The way we're born, the water is structured. And through life experiences, we become unstructured. And it is that crystalline structure that technically makes us a biological computer.
Yeah,
Liken it to like Silicon Valley, the crystal. So it is a carrier of information. So what you think literally gets programmed into your body through the water base. How about that?
In the electric universe, they have the 4 phases of matter, which is the liquid and the air and the solid, but also plasma.
Yeah, and that's what we call the ether or the crystalline matrix.
Exactly.
Really. Yeah.
So this is exactly the same thing. It's the electric embodiment.
As above, so below.
Exactly. So here we go. So this is really done in Russia, this experiment, an astonishing experiment. These scientists discovered that the human body's DNA can easily be programmed by human speech. When words and phrases are spoken and modulated on specific frequencies, the reprogramming effect on DNA was quite literally extraordinary.
Well, this is fascinating. Let's come back to this, but we've got a call on the line. We got Tom from Tampa.
Oh, he wants to talk about some olive oil, which we're all about here. Hi, Tom.
Hey, how you doing this morning, Nico?
Great,
Paige,
man.
how's it going?
Good morning, Tom.
Hey, question. Is it okay to mix olive oil with your coconut oil while you're cooking? Basically, it's just for flavoring purposes, because I know olive oil, once you start cooking, it doesn't really hold whatever like coconut oil does. I mean, it's basically just flavoring, if anything else. I know the darker the bottle, the better.
That's true.
Well, I would like to make a comment there, Tom, and, I believe that we were, in fact, as you probably were listening, as you usually do, last show, we talked about the saturated fatty acids like coconut oil, and then the monosaturated fatty acids like olive oil, and there's some research showing which ones may or may not be more healthful. So you're probably right. Having both can be great, but I would really encourage you to save olive oil for after it's removed from the heat.
I would suggest
adding
that,
it to, let's say.
I see.
Yeah, this, for example, everyone thinks that Italians saute everything in olive oil. What they do, like garlic, they take it off the heat. Actually, they would do it in butter, okay, a more saturated, stable fat, or lard even. And then as they took it off the heat and they mixed it with their pasta or whatever, they'd add a little bit of olive oil.
Yes,
because
that's the
damaging
proper way.
olive oil is a little more sensitive. Now again, there's some borderline there, but there's enough evidence that heat cooking could damage the tender molecules in the monosaturated fats in olive oil.
Yeah, interesting that avocado oil has a higher heat point. Yeah, so these things you can use, but just be careful in heating these fruit oils. They tend to turn rancid.
You say a few times, the body runs on oil.
Yeah.
And I'm really getting my head wrapped around that, as Tom O'Brien would say.
Yeah. Well, also, Tom, the other thing is that we are animals. So it naturally makes more sense that our animal fat would be assimilated a lot easier than something that's not animal.
Hey, along those lines that you mentioned there, talking about being proactive, Covey there in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that's
wonderful.
That was one of his
Covey.
paradigms.
Yep.
Yeah, be proactive, not reactive. That's negativity the human brain gets in a given day.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. One of the things
Yeah.
he gives is paying attention to things, and things like phone calls, even though we have an urgent need to answer them, probably are not important. And that's what he states in the beginning of that book. We need to classify things that are important, things that are urgent, really urgent, and that phone ringing we think is urgent, but as we know now, the millennials don't even answer their phone. So.
Yeah, maybe they've got a way we can learn from them.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
keep themselves from being
distracted that way anyway. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. You walk around there, everybody's just looking at their phones.
Yeah,
it's like a television set. It's almost like a distraction, man.
It is a distraction. It's a huge distraction, and it's taking people away from actual living, I think.
It's so important to disconnect. We were talking about that last night. Just in order to reconnect, you truly have to disconnect. And
right.
I think that's something that we're all missing. But
just don't disconnect from us.
That's right. Stay connected with us.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You guys are awesome.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a great day,
week.
Tom.
Yeah, that's important to know what foods to use, and we are continually being programmed by our TV, by our ads, by Facebook, Facebag, I like to call that now. It's just, I want to disconnect so much. Some things seem essential because my kids are on Facebook and things like that, but, a lot of these things are not necessary. And, when we come back after the break, I think we should continue with this, talking about the epigenetics, because this is an important subject. Positive thinking we know works. We know meditation, and they've been proven now in experiments. Meditation works, so we really need to get into this. And I want to talk about the different aspects about changing your genes just as easily, maybe, as changing your clothes.
And I think that we're going to get wiser and smarter as we start to pay attention to this work that's going on. But we'll be right back after the break. Make sure and give us a call.
Yeah, and also please pick up some Primal Edge Daily Supplement and take a look at our newsletter. We have another one coming up soon, not next week, but the week after, actually. So we'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. DNA, which is the blueprint of life that carries the genetic information in your cells, governs the development and functioning of the human body. It's widely held belief that DNA, which is shaped like a double helix, has a fixed structure and cannot be changed.
But that is not true, as we now know. That our DNA is not hard-coded, it is actually soft-coded. We'll talk about a couple of researchers,
Yes.
leading researchers. One of the areas, our organization that's doing a lot of research into the power of epigenetics is the Institute of Heart Math. And Heart Math did an experiment where they put some human DNA in a test tube, and they had individuals that were trained to focus positive intentions and good thoughts. And then they had another group that focused negative thoughts, and there was a difference in the winding of the DNA. In fact, the negative thoughts created a tight wound double helix, whereas the positive thinking created a relaxed, more broad double helix. It's just fascinating, folks. It truly is important. So when you see people walking around with a bottle of water with a positive affirmation on it, understand they're very bright. They're programming the water, which their body is water. They're submitting a program to their body. I am powerful. I am healthy. I am vibrant. And this is the way we need to talk to ourselves.
Yes, my dad always had told me that, what you think, in fact, he put it this way, that when somebody does something hurtful to you as far as speech is concerned, picks on you, and you know how that makes you cringe and feel, your body really doesn't know the difference between that person talking to you and you talking to yourself.
Exactly.
So if you tell yourself, oh, what a stupid thing to do, well, I'm a dummy, you say all these things, that takes that helix and winds it up a little bit tighter, which to me, it doesn't say this in the article, but I'm thinking inflammation.
Absolutely. And, let's share something else. Here's a perfect example. Dr. Bruce Lipton, who I just adore his work, he wrote the books, or one of his books, well known as The Biology of Belief, there in the title. And he was one of the first scientists to actually realize and recognize the importance of epigenes, or what the effects are above the genes. And he has proven that human beings can rewrite your genes. Your genes, you can defy your DNA. One of his experiments, he proved when he took a sick cancer cell from a sick body, and then he transferred this cell into a healthy environment. the cell quickly recovered and behaved normally. And this is, this research is continuing and ongoing epigenetic trials at his research center. And again, you and I were talking about maybe you can go over that more proof from the Russian scientists.
Yeah, they're finding the Russian sciences are already being applied in some of the European academic hospitals with great success on various sorts of skin cancer. The cancer is cured without any remaining scars. They have also been able to influence the cellular metabolism and even remedy genetic defects.
So maybe folks start to really research the science that's going on in the field of epigenetics, because you no longer have to really settle for the genes you were born with. In fact, understand we are powerful. And this is a lot of what I do with my people, is I try and figure out where's the stinking thinking. What do we, you know how I teach you that we take a look at the emotions, what someone's expressing, and we try and figure out how might that programming affect certain parts of the body or the whole body?
Yeah, and as an athlete, I know the positive thinking before a match really does, you're envisioning yourself on a podium there. This really, really shapes your game, and no matter what sport, no matter if you're a writer or whether you're just taking care of your child, this programming of yourself is deeply important. Just think of it, folks. Religion, we have these major religions and lots of minor religions all over the world that kind of program us. And, we always have the saying of the importance of faith. The more faith you have, the more realization you have. And this is, I think, is more into the epigenetics type of thing, that because of the great feelings you get because of religion and that you're forgiving yourself, these things kind of just add to your body and adds to all your genes and making them a little bit more stable. So it doesn't really matter if the religion that you're having is the actual true fact, in a sense, is that you have a belief system, you're reinforcing it on a constant basis, and if it's a positive thing, you can see how that would be good. And we have these groups called ISIS that are another type of religion where it's all negative, and you can see what's happening there. So I think this really does show a clear path. And in my own life, I've been positive most of my life, and I feel pretty good. I'm 71-year-old, going on 72, and I'm looking for another 50 years of life, if that's possible.
Absolutely. Well, that's how we were so designed.
I think
and
so.
People would have you believe that that's not true. And we really were designed to have a health span of 120 years. And really be fully living, not 190 and in diapers and not remembering who our children are.
Yeah,
the idea is that living a healthy lifestyle but having healthy thoughts is extremely powerful. And we want to encourage you all to really start researching what you're thinking in the environment. And that's what we're all about here. We want you to take control of your environment, because the outcome is extraordinary, as science is now proving.
Yeah, and there's one thing in here called, they're talking about the family gene pool. You already know that genes are passed down to you and can predispose you for certain diseases. They're talking about Angela Jolie, and a lot of women are doing this. I know my daughter had some problems with cancer, and she had a gene that was expressed in her breast, and she decided to move, instead of just having that one breast removed, just go ahead and do the second one. And we're asking now, is that a mistake? That's what this is. Did she go too far? And
a lot of researchers believe that if they were actually paying attention to the epigenetic factors, let's put it this way, the gene and I didn't realize that about your daughter. I'm sorry to hear that. The gene is like holding a gun to your head. The epigenetic factors, what you think, how you breathe, how you eat, what you actually say to yourself, the environment, the way you detoxify, is whether the trigger gets pulled.
Yeah, and in this instance with a double vasectomy, which my daughter went through too, and she's fine.
Vasectomy? You mean mastectomy?
Mastectomy, excuse me. I'm getting my terms confused here. But, there's a lot of information that's given to them about the risks. And so that's the reason that those decisions are made. I'm not saying it's the wrong one, but there are other options.
The right decision is the one that you feel comfortable with.
I think so, yeah.
We have to work to support that, but I also think we have to help educate people about the power of epigenetics, because the truth, folks, is less than 2%. I'm going to say 5 to 2% of disease is a genetic factor, meaning that the other factors, the 95 to 98% of all dis-ease, is controlled by epigenetics. factors such as how you're thinking, whether you're sleeping. If you're not sleeping and getting into REM sleep, you cannot do self-repair. It's just a hard fact. You know, are you drinking clean water? The cells bathe in water. Are you giving it good water? Are you eating real food that has a life force and has enzymes? These are all the things that living a primal lifestyle actually is all about. It's about learning to do the right things, the first things first.
That's right. And well, after the break, what we're going to do is tie this into unhealthy eating and see how that works. Because, you know,
there's a number of gene switches, and diet is one of them.
Yep.
We'll go over these. So come back. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Please pick up some Primal Edge, a daily supplement. I think you're going to like it.
And subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. It's news you can really use.
And the number here is 877-927-6648. Paige and I will be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And I'm Paige Clarke, and I'm with Nico Haan, and we've been talking about how can we positively affect the expression of our genes. We're going through a couple of factors. We were touching on the fact of the gene pool, and maybe in fact your gene pool does not have as much of an effect as we have been led to believe, and the science is actually proving that our genes do not control our destiny. You know, second,
we have Alan on the
Oh, that's right. We've got Alan on the phone. I'm sorry about that. Alan, are you ready to give us a conversation here?
Yes. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing great, Alan. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, I don't get to see you live very much, so this is a treat for me today.
Well, thank you.
Oh, and we appreciate you listening, Alan.
Yeah, the reason I called is when you were the topic you're on and mentioning meditation. The last couple months I've experienced kind of a meditation phase that I never thought I'd ever be in. But I read a book by Dan Harris called 10% Happier. He's a newsman for ABC.
Oh.
And at the end of the book, I got the book just because it was supposed to be a great story.
Uh-huh.
But he was tweaked by some of the assignments he went on. But bottom line is I started reading some other books, and Allie's show, she used to talk about meditation all the time, and I liked it. So anyway, I started doing it myself a little bit, and then I heard about this website called Headspace.com, and it's just a great site. I'd love to recommend it to anybody listening that was thinking they might like to try something. It's you get 10 sessions for free. They're 10 minutes long. It doesn't take any time, and it really was just a great introduction to realizing how you can be in the moment and live in the presence.
Yeah.
And just I don't know if you've heard of that site, but
I have,
it's
and it's a great site, Alan, and you are so wonderful to share that. And listen to what you're sharing with us, 10-minute meditations. We all can take 10 minutes. We need. In fact, if you actually do the research on things, that's why we're here. We're here to reconnect back. And that is the vehicle in which we do it, is through meditation. We connect.
Well said. I've finished 30 sessions with him so far, and I sometimes I don't want to open my eyes. I mean, it's such a great feeling. And anyway, I just wanted to share it.
Thank you so much.
And we'll share more and more information, because that's a real big part of what I try to encourage people to do that I'm working with, is realize that is the real most important thing. We came here to find our way back. And the way back, folks, is through here.
Through the third eye.
This is the connection.
Yep.
This is the upper room referred to in the Bible. Meet me in the upper room. Folks, he wasn't talking about a room. He was talking about here.
Very cool. Alan, thanks for sharing that.
Always great to talk to you, Alan.
You're welcome.
Take care. So, meditation is, your own little space. It's you control. But do you really control? How much do you really control? If you're just, sending thoughts to yourself that are negative, boy, that control really switches over to a negative thing. And the meditation puts you in that light, because what you're doing really is leaving all thought away. And, just letting it fall like leaves off a tree and emptying yourself, and then you're in the here and now, and all you're doing is being the observer. And there is no observer, really. You're just there and you're seeing, which is
You're not actually the observer. You actually are the observer of this mind
but
going
you're not
wild.
noticing. You're noticing that you're the observer, and you're observing yourself observing.
I know.
So it gets complicated, but it's actually a uncomplicated thing. We were discovering that not only what you eat, but also what you think and what your grandparents ate, and all these things have to do with our body and our lifestyle. But there is one thing that can kind of shut things off, and the one thing in our diet is, if you eat sugar, your genes turn off controls meant to protect you from heart disease and diabetes. There's a direct link there. A recent study found that eating too much sugary foods can triple your chance of dying prematurely from heart problems. Even consuming just 12-ounce cans of soda daily can really increase your risk of heart disease.
Well, I've told you that the urinary analysis that I work with the Food Enzyme Institute, and basically we're looking at urinary metabolites. And what we found, and research has shown, is that if people are intolerant or not able to utilize carbohydrates, they're at higher risk of heart disease, obviously diabetes. But heart disease, I think a lot of people find that challenging, because we've been made to think fats did that.
Well, remember, the sugar does lots of damages
Does
through
the damage to the fats,
the glycation. They get real sticky. They cling to the artery walls. They start to crack them. Yeah, exactly right.
And then but again, what we're seeing is that sugar is not our friend, folks. I really do believe the refined sugars are in fact our foes. So we want you to understand that when we're having excessive sugars in our lifestyle, again, the environment, we're not optimizing our gene expression.
Yeah.
And the third way that we can have an impact on our genes is controlling our stress. And chronic stress is a real, I would say that's probably one of the most powerful trigger pullers for epigenetic effects.
And what we mean by chronic stress is that you're always being exposed to the stress on a daily basis.
There are a lot of things that cause stress.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, we have the stress from the food, we have the stress from talking to ourselves, we have stress from people talking to you, we have stress from the pollutions in the environment, and then we have stress because we're so crammed with things to do. I think we're just much more active these days. We're doing too many things. We're not
disconnecting. You know,
Right.
we're staying so connected that we never disconnect. Here's a study published in the journal Proceeds of the National Academy of Sciences, folks. Researchers analyzed the immune cells taken from stressed mice's blood, and they compared them to non-stressed mice, and they found 3,000 genes in the stressed mice's immune cells that were expressed at higher or lower levels. And about 1,200 of the more highly active genes played a part in making the immune cells more inflammatory. But guys, the really fortunate thing about this is that these stress-triggered gene expressions can be reversed. And that's the power of what we're trying to share with you today. And you'll find surprising ways that you can really work on this.
It's a fascinating thing, and one of the things I wanted to do is go back a little bit, because there are some foods that they've tested that actually trigger the more positive genetic changes. There's a substance in broccoli that triggers hundreds of genetic changes, switching on genes that fight cancer and switches off ones that fuel the tumors. A diet loaded with carbohydrates turns on genes that lead to inflammation, but those genes stay inactive when you're eating a diet containing more protein and healthy fats. Omega-3 fatty oils found in oily fish affect more than 100 genes.
Folks.
That affects more than 100 genes for the good and boosts your overall health. When researchers used the carcinogen to alter the activities of 2,200 genes in an animal study, freeze-dried black raspberries restored 460 genes back to normal.
There's somebody I really wish was listening to this show. There's a lot of research that shows the ellagic acid in berries, blackberries, raspberries, very effective against certain things that begin with a C, esophageal type of incidents. So, and it makes a huge difference, folks. We'll cover a couple more of these things because it's important to know you can defy your DNA. You are in charge and you are powerful. We'll see you after the break.
You how. Thanks a lot. Then we can go back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And welcome back to the show, folks. So we're talking about epigenetics. We're talking about gene expressions. And another gene switch, number 4 here, is the lack of sleep. Researchers have found that unusual sleep patterns, such as sleeping during the day or staying up late at night, actually mess with the activity of your genes.
Well, that's exactly true. And what we now know from some research that's been done over in Germany and so forth, that unless we're getting the REM sleep, there's actually an endothelial in the vascular system signal that goes between the brain to shunt all the blood back to the central core where our organs are, so that the oxygen rush is double what it would be. We obviously don't need a lot of blood in our extremities when we're sleeping. We're not running, we're not walking. We don't need it in our fingers and legs. We need it back at our organs so it can be cycling through, getting reoxygenated, oxygenating these cells so we can heal the organs. Again, that's very important, and the gene switch of not getting enough sleep doesn't allow your body to do that, creating an environment where perhaps an undesirable expression might come about.
According to a recent poll by the National Sleep Foundation, a surprising 43% of Americans between the ages of 13 and 64 rarely or never get a full night's sleep during work or the school week. School problem for kids, very stressful. They're expected to perform all the time. You know, my theory on children, they like to sleep in. They should be allowed to sleep in.
Yeah, it's something, there's like an attitude that, you know, if you're sleeping, you're lazy. I just can't stand that. I think it's really important to say, you know, value the fact that people are getting good sleep.
I think kids should start going to school at noon and, you know, come home for dinner and maybe go to school for a couple hours in the evening, that type of thing. Of course, the way schools are set up, miles and miles from place, not in your neighborhood where it used to be.
Well, they got to use the bus system and share the cost because nobody wants to pay for it.
Well, yeah, and of course the bus system was set up as a boon to the auto industry to sell lots of buses, sell lots of gas, and move our children all over the place, not near us, which is
that's a whole different
subject.
But let's talk about this. So let's talk about why sleep-deprived nation is a problem. Because, see, as I mentioned before, your genes carry the instruction or the blueprints for making proteins. Proteins are what tell our body how to self-repair. And, you know, guys, you're not going to get repaired by taking a drug. There's nothing that's ever created repair but the body and nutrition. The body is self-healing, and it needs the instruction sets to do it. And, you know, which this helps you to make the chemical signals and hormones that regulate your body. So you're making the proteins so the body can do what it needs to do.
And if you're getting disruptive sleep, you're affecting your body's natural rhythms. Your metabolism is hiked up.
Inflammation goes up, stress gets crazy.
And your immunity system goes down. And even worse, research shows that little sleep can cause heart disease, obesity, diabetes, cancer to develop, and can even trigger depression, stroke, and early death. And this is what we're seeing in America, folks.
And we really have to take charge. You know, the new healthcare is self-care, which that's what we're all about here, is we want to help you to find information that empowers you, because it really is up to you, as we're finding out. I mean, quite frankly, this whole discussion we've had today on the science of epigenetics, it says it's not the hard coding of the genes, it's something above the hard coding of the genes, folks, and it's what you think, and that's you. and it's how you live your life, and that's your choices.
Yes, thinking is such a big deal in our society because thinking it points you in the direction that you're going. So if you're thinking negatively, you're going towards a negative thing. You're doing destructive things to your lifestyle, to yourself, to your family, and the other way around, if you're thinking positively, all that switches.
And I want to share with you that what we found out in our quantum research labs studying is one of the most important things you can do to have the healthiest expression of your genes is to love yourself, to love others, and to be ready to be loved. To forgive others, to forgive yourself, and to be ready to be forgiven. And we find that when we clear these emotions that are blocked, amazing ability to self-repair happens.
Yeah. Look at yourself as the world. You know, J. Krishnamurti many years ago wrote a book that says you are the world. And if you look at it that way, I always look at ant colonies, and I always told my students when I was doing student teaching, that the ant colony is actually one organism. All working together. Working
Collaboration.
together. And that's kind of the way I see the human race. You know, if we look at the human race as a whole, and everybody is part of like a cell, and that we're expressing different things, you can see that the whole body of the human race is kind of in disarray right now.
Right, and you know, that's a beautiful analogy, Nico. I really like that, and I'm visualizing that. And when you look at your body the same way, that this is a collaborative organism, because we know that our body is actually, even though we've got 100 trillion cells, we have 10 times the amount of microorganisms that are actually living symbiotically with us.
Yeah.
Usually symbiotically.
And you're wondering if, you know, those things that are living with you are in tune with you completely, or are they fighting you? And this is kind of what epigenetics is, what we're talking about. Some of these genes may be fighting you, putting into a negative light, even creating the negative thoughts in a way, through the food, through who you hang out with, through where you think you're going.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot about some of the work of Dr. Bach, you know, Bach flowers, but his real research was on you know, bowel nosodes and the organisms living in the bowel. Remember the second brain and how we feel? How can these other organisms that are actually an inherent part of us impact the way we think and be a part of that whole thinking process?
Right.
So really, folks, I mean, I'm telling you, the science of epigenetics, we can find you know, why it's important that we forgive people, how our exercising can affect the stem cells for repair so that they stimulate the good things. And
then, of course, there's the negative things, too. The gene switch number 5 is inhaling cigarette smoke. And there's a lot of, I mean, there's lots of different kinds of drugs. You know, this is just one example.
Yeah, they're picking an example of how choosing to create an environment that you live in that's unhealthy can create a snowball of gene expression. And they're using the example of cigarette smoke.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting that they use this because cigarette smoke not only has the unhealthy health aspect to it, but now in society it is really frowned upon. So before you could smoke a cigarette, oh, you look kind of cool, you know, and your buddies are saying, yeah, you're a smoker, I'm a smoker.
Made that
yeah, exactly.
Famous,
so it wasn't too bad, but now it's kind of a double whammy. Not only is it unhealthy, but people are looking, oh, get that smoke away from you. You're gathering at the doorway where we're supposed to go in. I mean, there's all kinds of negative things. If you're eating...
It's definitely not in vogue.
No, it's definitely not in vogue, for sure.
And, you know, it was a study published in the Journal of Chemical Research and Toxicology found that cigarette smoking begins to cause damage to your genes within mere minutes. These toxic chemicals are just so powerfully, negatively impacting our genes. And it's not years, folks. It's just after you inhale this toxic chemical cocktail within minutes. And, you know, the beautiful thing, though, is that when you give up smoking, that repair, those proteins go right away to start to restore the organism.
Yeah, even a heavy smoker after 5 years, if you're still young enough for that repair to be going on, your lungs can be completely healed.
Completely healed, and your risk of the lung diseases such as cancer can approach that of a person who never smoked in about 10 years.
I smoked from 17 till about 22 because it was a cool thing to do.
Oh yeah, we all did. You know, we thought that was the cool thing to do. And unfortunately, I grew up in a family of smokers. So, you're again, the environment. Genes are expressed by your environment. Why do people they have the same diet that their ancestors did?
Yeah.
So let's change it. Let's find the best of the best.
Yeah, so in our next section, we're going to tie this all together, and think and feel your way to better health is what we're talking about. So
We'll
please
be right
stick
back.
around and pick up some Primal Edge while you're at it, and my newsletter. Got a new one coming out in a couple of weeks, and you're going to love it. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. We're talking about epigenetics and how you can change your gene expression just through positive thinking, through meditation, through
Good lifestyle
good
choices.
lifestyle, yeah, good eating and things like that. So, and of course, we had finished off with cigarette smoking, and we now know it's a very dangerous thing. And smoking of any kind probably is not healthy, no matter what it is. Not too many studies on smoking marijuana and it being really, really bad, but any kind of smoke I think is bad. So I think some of the things that they're coming out with now, eating the marijuana and taking it as tea and using it in
CBD oils,
things
Yes,
like that. So, that's, and we're finding out that marijuana really is one of the most healing things. So as the years go on, I think we're going to find much more information. In fact, we see it all around now. When I was in California, down the street, you could see people just smoking openly. Not smoking, but using the vaporizers and things like that.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and,
quite a
I
different
think,
scene out there.
While we're just finishing up a little bit on that whole smoking thing, I know that the whole vaping movement is growing, but
Yeah.
I generally think, and my nephew, he's in the armed forces, and he's actually launched a vaping company. he was such an addict to cigarettes, and it really helped him get off of those.
Yeah, still using nicotine, but using it in the vaporizer.
I'm not sure he's still using nicotine now,
not.
but a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll use the nicotine as a transition, and then they'll move to these.
Yeah.
I haven't done enough research to really speak. Obviously, I would like to say that you shouldn't really need either one of them. However, sometimes we have to meet people where they are and help them take the steps to get where they need to be.
Yeah.
Because we're all on a journey and we all need help. So let's kind of recap some things about how we can utilize, get rid of the stinking thinking, and bring about what we think about, and what we're going to think about needs to be positive things. I'm going to encourage people to take some time. I call it gratefulness time. Alan called in and he mentioned that he's really been enjoying taking these 10-minute breaks, utilizing a website called headspace.com to create meditative moments. That's really why we're here, because the meditation is a way. I like to say that prayer is asking and meditation is listening to God. So let's take some time to listen, and that small, still voice can come about and help. A lot of people find that when they take the time to disconnect, to reconnect to where we're really supposed to be connected, many things come to them. Ideas for business.
Yes.
Ideas for their health. Maybe a product or an herb. This happens to me all the time.
Well, you want to be thinking about what you're passionate about and what you want your life to be about. So I think those 10 minutes or 20 things, or when I'm taking a sauna, I start really rummaging around and trying to clean up my life, so to speak. I want to throw the things out that aren't working and put things in that are working, and things that my friends are doing that are positive. So yeah, it's really important to kind of just reset yourself on a daily basis, whether it's the first thing you do when you wake up and have a little quiet time, or maybe after exercise is a good time. Sometimes during exercise.
There's no rules about when you can disconnect.
You can make up your own thing.
The key is to disconnect when you can do it, and do it often, so we can recharge and get centered again.
Well, the most important thing I feel right now for me and for my family is to be positive in everything. There's so much negativity in the world. So I want to set myself, and turn off that TV, folks, because all we hear is the negative things. If we didn't have that TV and that broadcasting, we wouldn't know about a lot of this stuff. You don't need to know. When there's clear and present danger, your body will give you the tips if you're aware enough. So I think
I want to make a quick point that you and I both talk about kind of disconnecting from the TV. The news that they're telling you about is bad enough, but what you're not aware of is there's vibes that are actually negatively impacting our DNA that we don't see that are coming through. Yeah. So, folks, let's take control of our health. The new healthcare is self-care. Switch it over, switch the expression of your genes, and we hope you'll make sure and switch back on and connect with us on our next show.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sticking around. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.